What is going on, everybody? It's Sam from Three Horn Meadery. Wanted to take you through this 2025 vintage of our Pyment. The grapes came from Rowsley Fault Winery, where we are based, and we got to experience picking them ourselves. We started by washing the destemmer, which you can see there. Once that's all washed, we started getting all the parts put together. So the drum sits inside the destemmer, the grapes feed in through the back and come out through the front. Here we have the forklift coming up to the massive hopper. This thing is about 3 meters tall. We're dumping in about 300 kilos of Pino Nior grapes. This will all sit in the hopper, and then the giant corkscrew will gently feed these through. So as the grapes get corkscrewed through the hopper, they will come out the chute that will go through the destemmer. All the stems come out the front of the machine, and you can see the grapes and the juice flowing back into our collection bin. From the collection bin, these will then get transferred into our massive 2,000 litre jacketed vat. This jacketed vat has a jacket which we can pump glycol through, which will give us the ability to actually temperature control our ferment a lot better. We just need to clean out the bin, make sure that we've got all the grapes, all the juice, and keep everything as clean as possible. We'll start off with mixing the honey into some water so that it's a lot easier to mix through with the grapes and the grape juice. Zach is doing a fantastic job at getting all the honey, scraping every last little bit out. Once it's all gone into the fermentation vessel, we'll add yeast and yeast nutrient to begin the fermentation. I believe that this was day 2 of fermentation, so you can see some of the bubbles coming through. What we need to do is actually, we call it punching the cap. So we submerge all the grapes into the liquid to prevent any funk developing up on top. And while we're punching the cap and getting everything agitated, you can see there that the CO2 is getting released at the same time. This mead only took approximately 6 days to ferment out to where we wanted, which is an off-dry to semi-sweet. So we've disconnected from the glycol, and we're lifting the vessel up on top of the pallet so that we can do a gravity dump into the bin. Take our time, make sure that that vessel is nice and sturdy and stable and where we want it to be so that we can actually get in and do the work. As you can see, we're quite excited to actually get this batch underway. There is the grape juice free flowing into the big drum. And some unashamed selfies next to the batch. For those of you who don't know what a pyment is, mead can be many things. A pyment is primarily honey and grapes. That's what it's really about, as close to a wine as what a mead maker is going to get. So winemakers rely on the grapes for all the fermentable sugars for the yeast to eat to then convert to alcohol. We'll make that mix between grapes and honey. And of course making sure that we're at least sitting at 51% honey so that we classify as a mead. Unfortunately, you can't hear the conversation here, but this is Duncan. He is the head vintner at Rowsley Fault Wines, who's come in to check in, make sure everything's going okay for us, seeing if we need a hand with anything. Zach's currently telling him about our fears of just opening the main door and having all the grapes come exploding out of the vat and making a mess and going everywhere and losing a batch. Now that the bulk of the juice is all dropped down into that main drum, we've got a variable capacity tank sitting off in the background there, and we're going to pump the mead off the grapes into that vessel. Once all the liquid has come away from the tote there, we're going to also be pressing the grapes. wanted to capture this moment on camera just to make sure that if for whatever reason we had a grape avalanche and I got all messy, he had it on film. Now that the liquid is all fully drained out, we've got the main door open and it's shovel time. We'll shovel out all the grapes into the main tote where we're going to be able to get to them a lot easier, and we'll be doing small runs over to our well and truly undersized grape press. Lessons that we've learnt from this batch is we need a much bigger fruit press. Oh, and a larger shovel. I'm just that little bit too short and need to make multiple passes to be able to push all those grapes forward. Okay, that's all done. Now it is time to press the grapes. We literally do this by filling up buckets, taking them over, pressing them off, pouring the juice into the main batch, and discarding the grapes. As with every batch, we always make sure that we take our starting gravity and we monitor the gravity of our batches as we go. For those of you who don't know, the gravity testing that we do is we check the sugars by using a specific gravity reading or a hydrometer, which we'll pour into a beaker. We'll take the sample reading and then we'll check that along. And that will actually give us a mathematical calculation so that we can figure out what ABV our alcohol is. From there, we steam the barrels to get them all prepped after washing them out. And we'll just transfer them over. And they will be aging in some ex-Shiraz barrels for the next 6 to 9 months. If this is your first time watching, we would appreciate it if you smashed the like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell so that you can turn on the notifications to keep updated with all of our future batches. We would really appreciate that. While the main batch has been sitting in that 500 litre variable capacity tank, we've had a glycol plate that we've dropped down in there to cold crash the batch, which means that all the active yeast will then become dormant due to the temperature drop, and then it's safe for us to transfer over into the barrels. The colours turned out amazing. That's the glycol plate there. We're a little under a third of the way down. 1 barrel full, 1 more to go.